I hear voices in my head, and these voices are telling me that Randy Orton is back in WWE. That's right, the snake person of WWE is back on Monday Night Raw. The backstage morale following those shocking NXT cuts. We'll talk about it. Another big name is backstage at Monday Night Raw tonight. Oh, there is a lot going on. You don't want to go anywhere. Also, huge news from New Japan today. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Big news about Randy Orton. He is back on Monday Night Raw. He confirmed the news earlier today on social media. What's up, everybody? I'm Kev Kelm. That is Jeremy JB Huskers, Nebraska, if you ask you. I'm in Chicago. You got to know. Let's get right into it. If you were with us for the first time, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're with us for the umpteenth time, go ahead and hit that like button. Share the link so you don't stink. Thank you to so many of you guys. We had 630,000 viewers on our top 5 video for Olympic heroes from WWE this past weekend on Facebook. So thankful for that. So thankful for that. With us for the first time, we'll get right into this news. Jeremy, what's going on with Randy Orton?
Not surprising anybody. He's just going to come out and say it on the Twitter machine. Randy Orton confirming he's not just going to return to Raw tonight, but leading off the show. So literally 90 minutes from now, the Viper will be gracing us with his presence. So, we're gonna see the Viper reported. I supposedly. If you put 2 and 2 together, you figure Riddle's been having a tough time with AJ Styles and Omos lately. You figure Orton's going to come in and even up the odds and set up a big tag team title match at SummerSlam. That is probably going to be what's going to happen. But Randy Orton on the Twitter said, been away for a bit, but tonight I am back on Raw. I won't keep you waiting. I'm kicking off the show. # Viper is back.
What a calculated move by WWE to have one of their, big name stars say, I'm kicking off Monday Night Raw. Yeah. This is something they did with John Cena the night after he came back at Money in the Bank. You saw that big increase by him simply saying, I'm going to be on the opening segment of Monday Night Raw. Watch. And the first hour of Monday Night Raw is the most watched hour of the show. It tends to be. It's a 3-hour TV show. And almost like Saturday Night's Main Event back in the day in the 80s and 90s, that show scales down in viewership by the time you get to the main event. But if they can retain most of it, that's a pretty strong show, even for 3 hours. Mm-hmm. Even though people think, they don't get what they got in 1998. No one watches. No one watches TV. No one watches TV like they did in 1998.
Not anymore. No. Not with the DVR and streaming and all that stuff.
Oh, no, not with all that. In a few minutes, we'll talk about even more names that are backstage at Monday Night Raw, which is interesting because
should we just add that in right now?
A lot less names in WWE in general after this past weekend. Right?
Should we just add that into the pre-Raw coverage right now? Want to talk about it now?
Let's jump right into it. We have some more names that came up in the last few minutes that are backstage at Monday Night Raw. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about the sentiment now in WWE, which is kind of upsetting. Our very own Dutch Mantel and Rick Ucchino covered this breaking news Friday night. While SmackDown's on the air, we learned that over a dozen different names from NXT, including Mercedes Martinez, a veteran who's been there a long time, and Bronson Reed, who just won the North American Championship, who many people thought was just getting the call-up at some point. Dropped like a bad habit by WWE and released. It was very depressing. News coming out then from the Wrestling Observer that WWE doesn't want, the word he used was midgets. He's quoting somebody like that. I don't know if that's the exact wording.
Well, and then if you
don't want anyone, WWE doesn't want anyone in NXT that's starting in their 30s. Now, everyone said that's people that are older. No, you need to emphasize starting in their 30s. They don't want somebody who's going to start their wrestling career in their 30s. And they were also looking for people that are box office attractions, in the future.
DDP started at 35 and he did fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had a Hall of Fame career and he started his career at age 35, kids. So I think that whole thing is ridiculous. But yeah, the whole common theme is the age. Bronson Reed is near his mid 30s. Mercedes Martinez, I think, is in her upper 30s. Bobby Fish is in his upper 30s. It is Ari Sterling is going to be one of those I think they're going to regret. I think Ari Sterling is a very talented wrestler. Him and Bronson Reed are going to be the two that they're going to regret letting go, I think.
And some of those people will make their way back into WWE.
I think Fish will come back to Ring of Honor. I think there's definitely going to be a place for Fish in Ring of Honor. There's going to be a place for everybody. The women's division is opening up at Ring of Honor. They're having a tournament to crown the champion. Mercedes Martinez could maybe fit in there. NWA is expanding their women's division as well. She could fit in there just the same. So it's the good part is there is a lot of options today in pro wrestling. I think Jinder Mahal came out and said it. His advice for the people that got released, it could be a blessing because you have these options.
Definitely go check out that interview we did with Jinder Mahal for SummerSlam. It's up on our YouTube right now.
Mike Johnson, literally a half hour ago, popped out some breaking news backstage at Raw. Jeff Hardy, who has been out with COVID, he is back. So it'll be interesting to see if he beats Karrion Kross. Like that was the plan, to beat him twice in a row. See if that happens this week. Also backstage, some interesting names. Aaliyah, who has been rumored to be moved up to the main roster. Xia Li, who just lost the NXT Championship match to Raquel Gonzalez not too long ago. Odyssey Jones, who's in the breakout tournament. Austin Theory, who's a part of the Way with Johnny Gargano, and Dakota Kai are all backstage. It has been confirmed that Aaliyah, Jones, Theory, and Kai worked dark matches before in recent weeks. So it'll be interesting to see if they're just working some dark matches for Raw, for we're going to get some interesting things there. But I would expect probably some follow-up with Hardy and Kross tonight on Raw.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, if we do get to follow that up. Jeff Hardy, unfortunately, got COVID-19. Apparently, he didn't have too hard of a battle with it. He's back here just a few weeks later. And if this is the setup for Kross to be crowned as the guy, this is a possibility to do that and do it in a compelling way and not just have him squash anybody, but squash a name that people love and care about. And Hardy.
Apparently on the cards was Hardy beating him again. So apparently the plan was for Kross to continuously get beaten, and then he finally brings in Scarlett. That turns the tide for him. We kind of I know my co-host Matt Black on my podcast had thought that was going to be a good story, and then it almost came out as that was actually the creative plan, was that Kross was going to lose by design until he brought Scarlett into the fold and then would turn it around and basically become unstoppable.
Yeah, it'll be interesting here. It is definitely something where I think WWE needs to have some hot shows this week after all the bad vibes.
Yeah,
this past weekend, and I'm just saying that in general,
not just this weekend, but this year.
There's anti-WWE sentiment is at an all-time high, where it's no one ever. I think there are people that are in that deep in they are drinking the Kool-Aid. They're living in the Kool-Aid of AEW, and they really want WWE to get hurt. You guys need to get out of that camp of if WWE's hurt, then AEW is better. That doesn't mean more people watch AEW. That doesn't mean they sell more tickets.
So far it has meant that AEW's been watched by more. Their demo's been going up, but
I don't see it that way. I don't see it translates into new viewers. I see they've settled into their lane, they've built their own thing, and they have their own ship.
Yeah.
There's just more internet trolling. I don't see it benefiting them. I don't see I mean, if Punk and Daniel Bryan come over, we'll see a bump then, right? We're waiting for that to happen. But I don't know. It's just, to me, it's a waste of energy. Know where I stand on those things.
Yeah.
Other people with different takes here about different questions. We got people texting in from Zambia. If you're watching for the first time, tell us where you're watching from. Love it. Thank you guys for checking us out live, especially wherever you are watching on demand. If you're in the comments on demand, I want to know where you guys are watching from as well. Obviously fans are angry here. Paul saying this WWE, not other organization we don't want here. Should be no more releases. There's been enough now. I do think there's been more than enough releases.
Yeah.
More than enough releases.
I mean, you're making record money, record profits, and it's things you don't really need to do. But
I also think there's just a different regime now in WWE with Vince McMahon and Nick Khan. And the idea is if we can run this with X amount of talent, then what do we come out with on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, Vince was in hoarding mode when AEW was getting built. So that's what basically this is the result of him being in hoarding mode 2-3 years ago. And now it's a result of, hey, well, we're just going to release these guys now. So,
well, here's the thing then. Everyone's like, well, we get mad at them and they sign up everybody and then they hoard the talent. And then you get mad at them if they release the talent. So
I don't know if I don't think
what is it? So they're hoarding people.
Yeah.
Right. WWE hoards talent. They're holding talent back from someone else. Right. I've heard that before. Those same people are then on Twitter yelling about how WWE released these people. It's one or the other. You can't have both.
I haven't seen as much sentiment I didn't see as much backlash of hoarding talent, because I didn't see as much backlash because those people are signing and they're getting their biggest payday of their career. So I didn't see as much backlash for people going to WWE and signing when they did, because that's their biggest payday of the year that they're ever going to get. So unless they continue to continue to go up the card and shoot into the top of the stratosphere within WWE, outside of that, it's going to be their biggest paycheck. So I don't think anybody really faulted them for signing and taking that money. So.
Speaking of big paychecks, we heard about a big one that was offered to one Mr. Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole is reportedly still under a deal, a contract extension, a short-term one, with WWE through the time of around SummerSlam. And so he is basically working a short-term deal to negotiate another one, and met with WWE executives, reportedly Vince McMahon, there on Friday at SmackDown. And the number he was reportedly offered is significantly higher than what he's currently compensated with. The number was, say it with me, $1 million. That's right. Pinky on the lip, like Dr. Evil. So that's a huge number. That could be a massive payday for him. Good for him. And if he stays with WWE, obviously, also this follows up with the writing team being told reportedly, once again, reportedly, that to prepare plans for Adam Cole on SmackDown or Raw. What say you?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know how accurate that report is for the million, but it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
He's going to get more money to stay. You're not getting him to, you're not,
yeah.
Come on.
It's interesting. It's interesting if it's interesting what Tony Khan. It's gonna be Khan versus Khan.
Battle of Khans.
Which Khan's gonna dig into the pocketbook a little more? I don't know
what. Is it going to be KAHN or is it going to be KHAN? What Khan?
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I honestly think it's a damn coin flip right now. I see points both ways of him staying with either staying or going. I am honestly 50-50. I can't lean either way right now. And it's good. Makes for an interesting couple of weeks leading up to what's actually going to happen.
I mean, it would be fun if you went to AEW, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so many,
but it's short term.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean short term?
Do you want Adam Cole? And this is no shot at Brian Cage. Do you want Adam Cole being a Brian Cage in a year? Or a Miro? Where they don't do it, they don't do the right stuff with him for the long time. They get this big name over there and they heat him up, but then they cool him off real cool and they ice cool him. That's a real problem that AEW has. They have a real roster death right now, and they don't have enough television to keep those people highlighted. Rampage will help, but it's only an hour. Well, that show, they've already said that show is going to focus on 2 to 3 matches a week. That's it.
That's pro wrestling in a nutshell, though. People are going to sit on the sidelines on all companies. That's just the nature.
Start having some WWE complaints shot at it in the next year and a half.
Yeah. I honestly, there's going to be built-in feuds with the Bucks and Kenny, obviously, with the Bullet Club ties. I mean, that's going to be an instant main event feud there. It'll be interesting if he has his own group of people. What if he forms a group with Danielson and Punk and just forms this super group that goes after the Pinnacle, the Inner Circle, or the Elite? There's a lot of if he forms a group, there's a lot of elite groups, no pun intended, that he could go after there. There's a lot of interesting. If you watch Being the Elite, he got killed off there, so it's going to be funny to see how they bring him back to life on Being the Elite if he did go back there. So I mean, as a fan of both Being the Elite, even which is a show that started back in the New Japan days. I mean, this has been a show the Bucks have been doing for a long time, and Adam Cole's been a part of that show well before he was in WWE. Obviously, when he signed the WWE contracts, when he got killed off. So if you've been watching BTE, even well before AEW was created, you know that Adam Cole works really well with the Bucks, with Kenny Omega, with Cody, and so it's going to be it's going to be entertaining. I would really love for him to go there because of who's in AEW.
And this isn't me being the pro WWE guy. This is just follow up your thing. What can he do in AEW? A lot of great matches. What can he do in WWE? A lot of great matches. I think there's plenty of different things he can. He's never been in the ring with Roman Reigns. I mean, have we seen him do anything special with Cesaro? Have we seen anything do anything special as part of a tag team? There's some tag team stuff I think he can do in WWE.
Yeah, it would be so fun.
Him and Drew McIntyre, I think, would be a great match.
As a fan of Up, Up, Down, Down, and as a fan of the Party, it'd be so fun to see
him in the New Day. Come on, him and Kofi.
To see, the Party every Wednesday they play Uno. Adam Cole, Cesaro, Xavier Woods, and Tyler Breeze. They play Uno every Wednesday. It is the just most entertaining stuff you'll ever see all week. And so to see Cesaro and Adam Cole in a feud would be just kind of tremendous, because in their promos, they'll throw a bunch of Easter eggs. If you watch they're playing Uno, there'll be Easter eggs all over the place for fans of Up, Up, Down, Down. So that would be a lot of fun to see a Cesaro feud with Adam Cole.
I would love that. I mean, you got friends there too. So if you're talking about the friend thing, he's got friends still in WWE that he can do stuff with.
Yeah, as
he
said,
if you want to do cool stuff with your friends on TV, you have an opportunity to do that in WWE as well.
Forgot Adam Cole got left in the hallway of the old PWG building. That's where he got killed. They don't run there anymore.
Travis with a hot take here is if Adam Cole goes to AEW with Bryan Danielson and CM Punk as a faction, it's officially the new NWO.
Right? They could just terrorize the company and just cause, just wreak havoc. And it'd be so entertaining because all three guys can deliver in all aspects of the business.
Harvey wants Adam Cole to stay with WWE. He says Harvey and Rollins, bring it. Yeah, we have not seen that match.
Yeah,
that would be a really, really special match. I would absolutely love that. That'd be special here.
Cole and Edge. How about Cole and Edge?
That'd be great. I see some great matches here, guys. If you guys are watching on demand, what match do you want to see Adam Cole have in the future in AEW or WWE? Let us know in the comments below. We'll respond here. I've had some people complain about the bald guy with the beard on the show. I am the bald guy in the beard if you're watching and not paying attention to our names. Let's get more into the news of the day. What is the latest on Becky Lynch? We're hearing that she's going to be around for SummerSlam.
Now the man's coming around to Vegas. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean anything because she's attended many WWE shows recently. But Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported this afternoon, confirming that Becky Lynch will be in attendance at SummerSlam. But don't hold your breath on if she's going to appear at SummerSlam. The most recent rumor was the fact that she was not going to return until October, which is right around the draft time. So, take it with a grain of salt that she'll be backstage, but don't hold your breath. I will just say.
More than enough time to get her back. I think they need her. I think Nikki Ash and Charlotte are nice, but I do think Nikki Ash the title is doing her more service than she's doing to the title, and that's fine. It feels good, right? But I think you need the blockbuster. I think you need Becky Lynch back in the fold, and they really need her on Monday Night Raw. I
want her on SmackDown.
There's too many people on SmackDown. There's too many good people on SmackDown.
You got to draft, though. I mean, there's going to be people moving to Raw, so. So.
Jamie with a question: how many hours of TV does AEW have per week? Television, at the current, they only have 2.
Yeah,
they do have the periodic specials and stuff like that. But if you want to talk about web content, they have what? Dark sometimes.
Dark's usually 2 hours. Elevation is usually 90. So if you add all that together, it's about 5.5 hours.
About 5.5 hours.
Then you'll add an hour for Rampage starting Friday.
Yeah. So definitely, and that's Rampage once again debuting this Friday on TNT. So I wonder if Dark goes away eventually because they have Elevation. I don't know. I doubt it. Back to this Becky news though. People pumped. They definitely need her back in the fold.
Been a while.
People want to see it. People want to Becky. They want a Becky Rhea match. And Ozzy saying Charlotte Flair is going to be happy because she's not back yet. I think Charlotte Flair would love to have Becky back, even though they've had matches in the past. I think it would be a revived thing. It's something they've done before, right?
Yeah.
But in front of live crowds, I think people would love to see Becky.
They do a good job of making their feuds personal. So
they headlined that Evolution show, the all women show, and they did that TLC match. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. A lot of people with different ideas about what is going on. We'll get to some questions. We have a couple of people asking us questions. We will get some before we're done here. I do want to bring up this news, and this is really, really positive news. And I would hope that more people will get behind this. New Japan Pro Wrestling, the biggest pro wrestling promotion in all of Asia. You know them for Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kenta, Jon Moxley wrestles there. Chris Jericho has wrestled there as well. They recently made a very big announcement, quite the rollout for this. It's worth noting that they posted this news during American time. They did not post this news during Japanese Standard Time. I think they wanted the world to know this news.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm wrong about that, I don't mind. But this news feels right to say. New Japan putting out the news that their entire roster and participating staff are completely vaccinated for COVID-19, with the surges which hit Japan with the Delta variant before they hit here recently. And then you had there was a lot of people stressed out about the Olympics there, feeling they shouldn't have those Tokyo Olympics that just wrapped this past weekend. Japan saying we're ready to go. You know, we just had our world champion due to vaccination complications. Kota Ibushi had to drop the world title. You know, so that they've been through a lot. This promotion is also going to be doing a big resurgence show in California coming up this weekend with Jon Moxley and a mystery tag team partner joining him as well.
Yeah, I wonder who that's going to
be. The Good Brothers.
Too Sweet Me.
Oh, who could that Too Sweet partner be? We'll see.
I don't know. I mean, he's going to be. I know for one indie show coming up, he's teaming with his old partner Sami Callihan, which is going to be cool to see. I don't know. I'm interested to see who his mystery partner is going to be on Saturday.
This is just great news, I think, for the wrestling business in general. I think it's obviously some people are not going to want to reveal their medical information, but it seems like there's a fortified, united front here from the New Japan locker room to say that this locker room is vaccinated. We're going to say that we all want to get out in front of it.
Yeah.
You started to see this now with some professional sports teams saying our team is vaccinated. We're ready to go. We're not going to have any issues. The NFL put out an edict. If you are unvaccinated and you expose yourself to COVID-19, your team will lose a game. Your team will lose a game because we do not want any exposure to people.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting scenario. Stephen Chambers saying thumbs up for New Japan here, saying that's a good thing. And then you're going to have plenty of people that are opposed to getting vaccinated in general, feeling like it's an edict, and I understand that. And you know, I get where some people are going to oppose it, but you got to do what you can do here, and that includes testing. Includes a lot of different things here. We've talked about it's been a reoccurring topic. It's a topic in all of our lives right now.
Yeah.
And how does wrestling respond to it? Good on New Japan Pro Wrestling for doing this.
Yeah. Unexpected news, but good to see that.
Mm-hmm. Do you think other wrestling companies will follow suit here?
You'd hope so, but I don't know.
Yeah, and also like WWE is such a large company. Like it isn't just the scale of New Japan is reasonable for them to make that type of announcement. Or Ring of Honor, I think, could make that type of announcement. It'd be harder for an AEW or a WWE because specifically with AEW, majority of the people they have are not contracted talent. Like they have a lot of people there that wrestle there regularly that you see on television that you assume are under deals that are not.
Yeah.
And they also use a lot of third-party people in terms of their crew to run different things. They have a different setup in terms of like the ring crew and all that different stuff.
Yeah.
With WWE, 90% of the people that work for them are for them. You work for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I doubt WWE will do that because I think there will be some people that I'll just do the testing all the time, that type of thing. And now with the variant, you know, a lot of people who are even vaccinated are still going to wear the mask and do everything like that as well. So it's a challenging time. I wonder, you know, we haven't heard about lockdowns yet. You know, we haven't heard about major lockdowns in major cities. We're waiting to see what happens with Las Vegas here in a few weeks.
Yeah.
SummerSlam, August 21st. We're going to have Rampage, full stadium in Chicago, United Center, August 20th. Hopefully these shows are still running, right?
Right, yeah. I don't know. I mean, you got bands like Limp Bizkit announced their cancellation of dates there. So it's run by Lincoln here actually next week or in 2 weeks or so. And they canceled their tour. I think Wes Borland got sick. I don't know if he had COVID or not. But
he did come out. Wes Borland came out and denied that, said, I'm not sick. That was just something that people said.
Oh, okay.
And they pulled out of a show a few hours before. It's not clear. Sometimes it's somebody in your crew. Foo Fighters had that about a month and a half ago, and they still played Lollapalooza. They waited. They called off some shows and then still did some others. So if you're trying to go see some bands, guys, this is going to be happening here. This is, I want to say, Air Force Sister 74 giving us a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Great job, New Japan. I agree. We also, learning the United States government now going to mandate this for all active military members. 1.5 active military members are going to have to sign up for this. So, let us know what you guys are doing here. Let us know how you guys are feeling here. And I know some people oppose it, some people are cool with it. Let's jump into some questions. Here we go. Big releases this past weekend from WWE. Matt Stewart saying, "Is there more releases coming in WWE?" We've heard rumblings of it. I don't know at this point.
Andrew Zarian had reported on Saturday that more were coming, and insinuated that it might have been on Saturday, but nothing more happened. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's a regular occurrence this year. So I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna be surprised.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get to all your. Here we go, Todd Verk. Where is Corbin's gimmick going? Tell me about Baron Corbin on Friday nights.
I don't know.
Sad sack who always has a stain on his shirt and is asking you for money.
He didn't have a stain Friday. He got a new shirt.
He got a new shirt?
Yeah, no stain on Friday. I don't know, because they were going in a great direction with Kevin Owens, kind of saving him a little bit, giving him money, saving him from Rude and Ziggler. And then they pull this Balor stuff. And I think they just are going off the fly and have no long-term plan with it. That's what this is telling me, is there's no long-term plan with this Corbin thing. It seemed like there was one with a kind of a redemption story, and it seemed like this was going to be a great babyface kind of redemption story, but they've completely changed up the whole story on it, and that just leads me to believe that they have no idea what they're doing with it right now and just going week to week.
All right, get your questions in if you can. SC Williams saying, "Hey, Kev, Jeremy, what do you think of Dan Lambert backup for AEW this week?" Dan Lambert is an MMA trainer. He runs American Top Team. He was involved in some wrestling angles in Impact Wrestling. He was kind of the backup to Bobby Lashley for a period of time there as well. Involved with Bobby Lashley in his MMA fighting career and several other big names. But obviously, this guy loves wrestling. And he got powerbombed a week
He's
or
a
two
good
ago
heel
by Lance Archer. Archer. So Dan Lambert says he's bringing something to take on Lance Archer.
He's a good heel. I like Dan Lambert. He was
cut a hell of a promo.
He did good in Impact Wrestling when he was there too.
What's he bringing though? What's he got?
I don't know. I mean, he had Masvidal with him with Nunez back. When was that? That was just last month, wasn't
it? Yeah, it was their first big show. It was
Road Rager. Yeah,
the Road Rager in Florida.
I don't know. Maybe maybe it's maybe somebody on the roster. I don't know. It's really up in the air. Who I like Stevens. I like Stevens' answer here. I would like to see this. Obviously, a former MMA guy, Filthy Tom Lawler, who wrestled in MLW. He was great. He was great in MLW. I would like to see him. That'd be a great. I think that'd be a great. I never even thought about that. I think that would be a great backup to have for that. I think that's the best answer right there.
I just had a question fly past me. I want to make sure I don't miss this. Devin Anderson. Let's keep the CM Punk stove hot here. Is CM Punk showing up in Chicago? Well, I will tell you this: if they want the pop of pops, it's in Chicago.
Sounds like a trademark you should have.
If they want the king of pops, the new king of wrestling pops,
that trademark's already taken.
Who cares? I don't care about who has it. And so if they want that one, they do it in Chicago. Now, Rampage, their new Friday night show, will debut this week. And then the 20th, that's the night before SmackDown, or SmackDown's going to be on air the same night as them, but it's the night before SummerSlam. And that's what AEW is trying to do. They're trying to steal the thunder.
Yeah.
Of AEW, and they're also trying to ride off of that increased casual wrestling audience that's on Friday nights. WWE's gotten a lot of people to start watching wrestling the last 6 months on SmackDown. Whether or not you like that, guys, it is the most watched show in pro wrestling. Now, if AEW can carve a piece of that audience out and get them to click over to TNT, then they'll do a really good number here. August 20th, though, that's where you do it, right? You can't do it any other night. You
No.
can't do it any other night. United Center, CM Punk, Chicago. It
No.
writes itself.
Friday's going to be more about Britt Baker, and next Friday is going to be more about CM Punk.
Sure, and it makes sense. And if that's predictable, that's fine. Craig Baker, here we'll wrap up with this. What do you think about the Bray Wyatt situation? It's a bummer. It's a real big bummer. It's the most eye-scratching. It makes me scratch my eyes. Why? Why am I seeing this? And you did the breaking news on it. It was huge. The reaction to it was visceral. To a lot of younger fans under 25, he's their guy. You know, I remember reading a comment on our YouTube of fans who were saying, we've been to every WWE show at Madison Square Garden since the 1950s. My grandparents went, we went, we're Northeastern, New York, New Jersey, WWE fans, right? Multi-generational fans. And you talk to a lot of fans like that from the New York area, for sure, right?
Yeah.
They say they're done. They're done. Too many releases. You burn me. I love Bray. How could you let Bray go? You know, to them, it was like losing The Undertaker.
There was a tweet I'm trying to find. Somebody had put out a tweet saying Bray should just stay away from wrestling. And Billy Gunn, I think it was Billy Gunn.
I can tell you what it is. I'll connect the dots for you. Okay. Writing with Russo is available right now on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Vince Russo says his advice to Bray Wyatt is get away from wrestling. Don't go to AEW. Don't stick around waiting for WWE to call you. Go get yourself an agent in Hollywood and start making some movies and become the new Freddy Krueger, become the new Jason Voorhees. And I was like, I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
It's not a bad that's not a bad idea at all. No.
If I was him, I would get on the phone with Shudder, the streaming service, and just pitch me a show. I have a following. If you don't know what Shudder is, if you're a horror movie fan, they have Joe Bob Briggs. They have a bunch of old horror movies on it.
Joe Bob's awesome.
It's the WWE network for horror fans. It's just horror.
It's like $6 a month. So
yeah, it's fun. I've gone in the loop of getting it for 4 or 5 months, right around Halloween-y time. And then, all right, I've had my fill, my seasonal spookies, and then I'm done.
It's if he's truly wanting to wrestle, you know, he's going to have that creative freedom in AEW. So if he is 110%,
do they have the bandwidth for all these guys? Do they have the bandwidth to make all these guys matter in the limited amount of television they have?
Well, again, with Punk and Bryan, they're not going to be every weekers. They're going to be occasional guys. They're not going to be every weekers. So that they're going to be big pops right now going into All In or All Out, but they're not going to be working every night of the week. You're going to see them here and there. You're probably going to see them.
They're Hollywood Hulk Hogan's.
You're going to see them for the big four, basically, you know.
I can see that, but my thing is like you got to make this count. Like you can't bring in all those guys and let one of them fall on the wayside.
I could see Punk wrestling a lot more. Bryan, I think, is going to be a reduced schedule with his family, but I could see Punk maybe wrestling a little more.
At least
Bryan.
The first gallop here to prove that he's still, he's got something to prove. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
But the schedule's conducive to them. If you get this faction with Adam Cole, they don't have to wrestle every week. If they get in a faction, they don't have to wrestle every week. And the schedule is great. They can just fly in.
Roman Reigns comes out, cuts promos. I mean, he's still doing all the travel, but he's not in the ring wrestling every week.
Takes 20 minutes to walk to the ring.
He's still entertaining.
Yeah,
still very entertaining recently.
I think there's room for Bray if he wants to go in there. But again, he's got to be 110% willing to want to come back, and the time might not be right now. Either way he chooses, I think is a good answer. Whatever he is 110% behind right now.
It'll be interesting. Next few weeks going to be very, very intriguing. We have SummerSlam on the 21st, Rampage there on the 20th. Obviously, Rampage debuting this week. We're going to keep an eye on all of it, okay? And make sure your notifications are on. If you haven't done it already, on YouTube, subscribe, turn the notifications on for all of our videos or just some, whatever you want to catch out. And you can join us for live post shows from Monday at Raw with Vince Russo, Dutch Mantel with us on Friday nights. We'll also be talking about Rampage as well. And if you need more convenience, you can subscribe to our podcast channel, which is available now on Apple and Spotify. Thank you to the fans who put us on the Apple Wrestling Podcast chart in the United States in the top 100. Very, very thankful for that. Put us at number 20 in my family's native land of Ireland. I'm very, very thankful for that one as well. Thank you guys so much for supporting everything that we do. We really do appreciate it. This is our job. We legitimately do this as our job, and you guys are a part of it. I'm very, very thankful for it. We've had some great success. Stick with us, man. I know you have a lot of options, and we respect everybody else. This isn't us trying to tell you what you're not to watch. But if you watch and you spend some time with us, you listen to us, and you read our website, sportskeeda.com, hope it puts a smile on your face. You learn about what's going on with wrestling, and you got your old little digital buddy right there in your pocket in your phone, all right? Thank you guys so much. Check out what I'm doing on the Twitter machine at Kev Kellum. Jeremy, where can they follow you and check out your podcasty doody doos?
You can follow me on the Twitter at JB Huskers, and every Thursday afternoon we drop a podcast with myself and fellow Sportskeeda writer Matt Black. It's called Lost in the Midcard, and so if you search for Lost in the Midcard on any of your podcasting apps, you can find it there. There are 2 feeds. I've got one titled New Feed. We might be losing our original RSS feed. So
RSS feeds are such a problem when you build them up like that, you know?
Yeah, especially when we've had one for 6.5 years and we're approaching 300 episodes. But search for Lost in the Midcard. You can subscribe to both feeds there, or we have a video version on the YouTube as well. Typically, we re-record after Dynamite and put it out Thursday afternoons. We've been taking a couple of weeks off here and there this summer with a bunch of things coming up, but I think we are recording this Wednesday for a show on Thursday.
Thank you guys so much for checking out what we do. Remember, when watching wrestling, do the most important thing about wrestling, which is what?
You got to enjoy wrestling. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to him.